Frank, one of the questions that our customers have had is the durability question. How does this treatment last? You know, either because you're washing the garment or the bag, or just through normal wear and tear, just the mechanical agitation of the feathers rubbing against each other. Is that going to impact the hydrophobic capabilities of the insulation? And the other aspect of that durability question is, when you treat it, does that weaken the fiber over time? I mean, if you take good care of a quality down bag, you can get 20 years use out of it. How's DriDown handling the durability challenges?
So those are excellent questions, and this is one area where we were able to lean on a lot of the work that had been done when the technologies were originally being developed for the bedding market.
Oh, how long have these technologies been around?
So in terms of the outdoor industry, I mean, we started working on it a little bit over 2 years ago, but from a availability of the materials and the idea of putting it onto down, add a few more years to that. And in those bedding applications, the durability is absolutely paramount. Whereas the loft or the hydrophobic nature are almost incidental.
So let me explain to the viewers out there. In the bedding side of things, we're talking like a feather duvet or comforter and a feather pillow, something that's going to get laundered frequently. And so any treatment you give to that is durability becomes a critical component.
You know, one of the partners that we worked with was describing how rigorous the testing is for hospitals in Europe, and
because they use down pillows in their hospitals.
In Europe, if you know, I mean, you've got down pretty much on every aspect of the bed. And of course, in a hospital, for hygienic reasons, you're washing that stuff between every patient. They were focused on reducing the dry time with the technology, but absolutely they needed to make sure that they weren't trashing the down.
Okay. So
the two aspects that you pointed out with respect to the durability, does it hold up as a function of washing cycles? And the data that we have is at least up to 20 machine washings at warm temperatures with detergent, which is not what anybody recommends you do with down on a regular basis.
Right.
But as a harsh condition, to still have more than 80% of the original benefit intact.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever owned a sleeping bag I've ever washed 20 times.
You've got issues if you do.
Yeah.
And you're going to avoid a standard detergent when you do it.
Down
You're supposed to.
So I mean, worst case scenario, you have 80% left after 20%, or after 20 washings.
Exactly.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
Exactly.
Okay. How about the duration?
So the other one, and we've gone to a realistic endpoint on the durability, where we're looking at mechanically what have we done to the plumes and the small percentage of feather that's in the down by putting pillows that we made and putting them into a tumble dryer without heat, but with some additional elements to really work it and to beat on it. And we've seen no reduction in, we've seen no increase in the percentage of fines, the amount of stuff that gets broken off in going from untreated to treated. And actually some small indication as far as the testing that we've gone so far that the treatment is improving the durability. But we're still doing work on that. And
when you put that the coating on there, or the hydrophobic nature onto the down plume, are you stripping off its original oils in the down? Or is that, can I ask that?
No, you'd actually want to leave as much of that intact as possible, so that when you're putting the technology down, it's already going onto a hydrophobic surface.
Perfect. Okay.
So the more that's left intact, the better. You know, there are certain standards within the down processing industry where they have to wash it.
Oh yeah, for
hygienic reasons.
Yeah.
Right.
And unfortunately, those steps do get rid of some of the natural oils. But the natural oils are actually beneficial to the treatment. So we very much want to leave those intact.
And this is something you'd recommend, you can wash yourself at home, like a DriDown sleeping bag, DriDown jacket. You don't require it to be sent back to CR Designs to have it laundered, anything like that.
If you'd like us to, I suppose we could, but no, we certainly don't ask you to do that.
Okay.
You can handle this at home.
Awesome.
Okay. So, Frank, the last two questions I would hope to get out of this meeting today is, have you done any testing of the competing products? There's a couple different solutions in the market. I understand you guys were first to market with a hydrophobic down solution in the outdoor space, but a couple other options are available to consumers now. Do you look at the competition at all? And then the last question I'd have would be, where do you see this DriDown technology going in the coming years?
Absolutely. Yeah, we look at the competition from a variety of points of view. At this point, yes, we very much look at it from the standpoint of how are we stacking up in terms of what we're able to say about our down versus others. But quite honestly, all of the technologies that are out there today that folks are using were options that we evaluated.
Okay.
In the early days of the process, and we've been at this for over 2 years now, so compared to folks that are just coming into the game right now and maybe trying to find something that works, we've taken the time to work through the available options and choose the best one of those from a practical standpoint. There's a technology that's been very recently introduced by Patagonia that looks to hold a tremendous amount of process, a tremendous amount of opportunity with it. How accessible is it? How realistic is it for the average consumer, given the apparent price point? It looks a little challenged from that standpoint, but from a is it delivering the benefit? It's a very interesting new direction.
That's why I asked the question about laundering, because I know Patagonia asks that you send it back to them for laundering rather than be able to do it yourself at home.
Mm-hmm. The process that they're using, where they involve plasma in the application of the chemistry, is one that we're very familiar with. That, along with several other new versions of putting different kinds of chemistries down onto the down, are a big part of our research program.
Okay. So, in terms of where our customer can see DriDown going in the coming years, any big things on the horizon or new developments, or is stuff always in the works?
Stuff's always in the works. I think you'll see some more concrete claims with respect to field performance.
Okay. Of
sleeping bags and of garments, and I think you can absolutely count on the technology to get better. As successful as it is and as effective as it is, it's equivalent to the first telephone that was made. And, it works and it was a breakthrough and that's great. Is it going to get better? Absolutely.
Okay.
So,
cool.
we're working on
well, fun stuff to look forward to then.
Absolutely.
Hey, Frank, thanks for your time.
Oh,
Yep.
Very
Thanks
welcome.
for sharing
Thanks
all
for
this.
coming
Thank
down.
you very
Looking forward
much.
to time.
You're welcome.
Good to go.
All right, I'm going to see if I can't drive and talk at the same time. So we just
Sorry, the camera's a little wobbly there.
and hang on to it maybe. So we just wrapped up our meeting with Sierra Designs, and we're driving back to the airport, and wanted to kind of wrap up our thoughts and capture them all while they're still kind of fresh in our head. Brad, I'll start off by saying that I appreciate the fact that they were willing to talk to us, and Frank spent so much time with us. I learned a bunch from him.
Oh, and the candor at which they did it, I mean, they were completely open and honest about everything. And there are some things that we can't talk about on film, but they want to be the ones to break that news to you, so we're going to keep those.
Yeah, well, just so people know what we're talking about. They showed us some of what's coming down the pipeline in the future, and it's really exciting stuff. But on the DriDown stuff, what I learned is, we were on the right path with some of our testing.
Yeah, we made the exact same mistakes they made in the first parts.
Absolutely. They went through like 100, different types of tests before they actually figured out what are the control variables. And, so we were on the right track. And, I'm leaving with you know, the notion that, hey, I'm really excited to actually try this stuff out in the field now.
It is going to take a field test. I mean, we can see what it does in a laboratory test in a glass beaker, but really it needs to be on a person's body for 8 hours sleeping.
Right, and the mistake, or, you know, where we hadn't got to the right point in our testing yet is just controlling every variable and, you know, not immediately going from, you know, the down being in zero contact with water to being fully immersed and agitated, especially, you know, having the down completely saturated in our steam chamber.
Right.
So, and then, you know, the impact that, or the effect that compression has on the down. So, yeah, I'm anxious to get back and get out in the field. I think it's the right time of year to be testing out these things.
Oh, especially Montana. I mean, days are getting warm, tons of snow's melting, and nights are cold. So it's the perfect storm for condensation.
Right. So just one more time, just in wrapping up, special thanks goes out to Sierra Designs for having us down and showing us what they got going on and talking to us about their testing that they do in their ACD. What's that stand for again?
Advanced Development Center.
Oh, ADC. Okay, Advanced Development Center.
And thanks for watching all these videos we put together. We should have a summary coming out at some point of all the videos.
Sure.
So just keep your eye out for that.
Yeah, and also I would say as a teaser, stay tuned to some of the things that should be coming out or being announced shortly by Sierra Designs. We're pretty excited about it.
All right, well, thanks for watching.